This is a special edition of Late Night Health. I'm really pleased to speak once again to my friend Harrison Klein. Harrison's an award-winning personal growth transformationalist. We'll find out what that means. He's a wealth and business growth consultant. He sits on a number of multi-million-dollar boards of directors, and his mission in life is to move humanity forward. He's been featured on numerous radio shows, numerous print articles, magazines, and of course, he's been on more TV networks. Some of them probably aren't even around. I don't think he was on the DuPont network, however. And he's old enough to remember the DuPont network.
Yeah.
And last but not least, he's a kind of an innovator in the telesummit industry. And what we're doing right now using Zoom is really a telesummit. Wouldn't you say so, Harrison?
It's a form of telesummitry. Yes, it is. So the original telesummits that we did were audio, but we also had video supplements in order to make things happen that we recorded in advance, but we couldn't live stream.
Got it. So they were pre-recorded. Well, this could have been live, but we decided to pre-record it. What is a growth transformationalist, Harrison?
Well, transformation, I mean, if you break down the word into trans and formation, basically, trans is to go between, so we take a before and after situation, and then form is whatever, shape of energy or situation or circumstance you want to make happen. So trans from the before to the after, and if you have a clear vision, or if you want to create a clear vision, it's about moving energy in different forms, because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be moved to different shapes. So what I do is I help create the movement of one state of being to another state of being. And that's what a transformationalist does. And that can be from pain to happiness. That can be from poverty to, financial abundance or freedom. That can be from, bad relationships to good relationships. It can be from low unworthiness to high self-esteem. So it can be for a company. It can be from, chaos to order, right? It just depends on what they want. It can be leader. It could be from no market value to leadership in the market, so on and so forth. So that's what I do.
Because we're a health radio show, is there a correlation between health and wealth in your mind?
Absolutely. So the healthier you are, the easier it is to create wealth. So because it makes you feel good, because wealth is a matter of it's a matter of flow. And, in the original Greek word, the word in the English etymology of it, it means it comes from well-being. Wealth comes from well-being. But in the original Greek word, it meant flow. Everything likes to flow. Money likes to flow. Energy likes to flow.
Because it's energy.
Because it's energy, because it likes to flow, it likes to move. So wealth is about flow. So it's about circulation of money, or circulation of, good energy in one form or another. So the opposite is when it flows in the wrong direction and it goes a downward spiral. But we want to reverse any downward spirals to upward spirals, and there are specific ways to do that, which I've studied all my life based on my own history and a number of other different, people I've mentored under, and people I've menteed under, and people that I've mentored as well. So, and work with.
There's an old expression: "Evil is the root of all evil." Money is the evil.
That's a better one than money.
I wrote it backwards. Money is the root of all evil. I personally don't believe that. I don't think money is the end.
It has nothing to do with evil. Money has nothing to do with evil in my perception and experience. Money is neutral. What we do, what we decide to do with it, comes from us. So in terms of evil, if you are attached to money over people, sometimes you have a either a superiority or an inferiority expression of your actions in that way, and that's what people consider evil. If you ignore them in favor of money, or if you ignore their needs or their desires or their circumstances in favor of money, people take that personally sometimes, and so that's how that comes about. So it's a misinterpretation of the original biblical statement of, the love of money is the base of all evil. So
So if
and
you
the
love
love of,
money over people.
yeah, it makes, if you make money a priority, then it negates your relationship with people. So if you make it primary or bigger than your connection with people, then you are bound to step on some toes and hurt some people, take things away. I was watching the Showtime series Billions last night, and then also a couple of times before that. And he talked about being a monster, which is that billionaires are their intention is to dominate and subjugate, as many people who are lesser than they are in skills, so that they can control markets. So that's about the love of money, right? So it's about prioritizing money over other people and things. So people consider that they consider that kind of evil by definition to a lot of people, because they don't feel heard, they don't feel considered, they don't feel good about that connection. And the way that Bobby Axelrod in the series said, he said, "I'm a monster, but what I do is I subjugate markets. I control markets, and that's what I'm good at." And for a lot of people, that makes me a monster, because a lot of people have to fall for my subjugation. So
I think I'm only into episode 3, so don't no spoiler alerts here, right?
Well, the new one is episode 3. That was last night, I think, or maybe that's the 4th one last. I don't know.
But I'm on episode 1. Without being political here, all right, I'm being political. Would you think at this time a certain billionaire spending $135 million on playing golf in the last 4 years? That's what he's.
Well, that's a little excessive, I think.
Yeah.
When you get to the point of where your money is so valueless that you spend it on ridiculous things, then
he didn't spend his money. He spent the U.S. government's money.
You're talking about somebody in particular.
I am. I'm talking about somebody in particular. Let's. By the way, yes, folks, you can send me emails. It's okay.
You can send me money.
Yeah, you can send me money instead, and we'll pay off that $135 million. Let's talk about. I want to talk about the coronavirus and your state of mind. All right. If you're, we know that if you're healthy, generally speaking, if you get the coronavirus, one of two things are going to happen, maybe one of three. The first is you're going to get it, you're going to go, that's it, you're done. But you have the antibodies to fight it, we think. 2, you're going to get very ill. Or 3, you may get somewhere in the middle. And then 4, you can die. And there are young people dying. There are older people dying. For whatever reason, Hispanics and African-American people are dying in greater numbers than their counterpart in the Caucasian community. How important is it to have a positive mindset and say, I'm not going to get this? I'm not saying don't wear your mask. I'm not saying don't wear gloves. I'm not saying don't social distance, but can having a positive mindset at this time help?
It's critical. It's crucial to the whole process. Being a metaphysician and mystical by nature, having gone through my experiences of coming through mysticism to achieve my level of consciousness, one of the things that I know without a shadow of a doubt in my experience, not everybody may accept this, but that, the consciousness that we are at, it creates our reality. And so we speak our thoughts into reality. We speak our words, create our reality as we go. And our thoughts are directly responsible for the chemicals, the enzymes, for the metabolism, for the things that we experience in our own body one way or other, including our immune system. And so the words I am are the two most significant words in the human experience. And those words are the governance of energy. So the more you are in tune and congruent with who you are, the I am, the stronger is your immune system. Now,
I am
there's
healthy.
a lot of,
I'm not sick.
that's
I am
right.
well.
I am well. I am sensational. I feel good. I am, I'm dynamic by nature. I am a genius, and every day I apply it. I am wonderful in relationships. I am a good father. I'm a good salesman. I'm a good, logistical expert, whatever it is that you happen to do, doctors, whatever. So the I
No matter
am.
what and I know that you help people with sales, because a lot of people, I think it's over 90% of Americans really hate to sell, but they love to be sold. And
Yeah,
we all sell. You're not going to go to a doctor who has stinky breath and smokes a cigarette and has long, dirty fingernails.
right.
And that's selling.
Yeah. Well, as we understand, how to present ourselves, and that comes from exactly what we internally tell ourselves, self-talk. As we understand how we do that, we create stronger and better, more detailed I ams. And in the process of that, we achieve a higher self-image. And the self-image that we have determines determines what we put into our subconscious, and then the subconscious then determines our behavior from what our conscious tells it we are, what our conscious mind tells it we are. So the sequence is very, very clear and very clean, and most people will not go that, but they misuse the I am continuously, and especially in sales and especially in other things. When you say I am depressed, I am angry, I am pissed, I am,
It's
hungry,
negative.
yeah. So most of the highest number of I ams by 95 or 90 some percent of people's consciousness deal with the I am in a negative state. So, the 2 to 4% that use the I am positively, those are the 2 to 4% that are the cream of the crop of societal experience and wealth and health and everything else. So the greater your self-esteem, the greater is your confidence, which allows you to create money, which allows you to create health, which allows you to create joy, which allows you to rise to all the challenges of life, including something like the coronavirus. So
I am not by any means a grammarian, but when I look at the word I am, that's present tense. It's now.
yeah, so it can only be. So it puts you directly into the moment. So, and that is where all your power is. Every pivot has to come from an I am. So we can't live in the past, we can't live in the future, but we can anchor ourselves into the now through the words I am. And the more powerful, whatever the attachment to the words I am, like I am a great salesman, or I am a great, lover, or I am a great, or I am very sexy, or whatever the case may be,
You
the
just
more that
described me to a T.
I see. Okay, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. So, but the more you're able to do that, the greater becomes your exercise of commanding energy. And energy is what we all want. The more energy we have, the more confident we are, the more we enjoy life, the more we have fun with each other, the more we absorb and learn and experience and at the faster rate. Intelligence is about the speed of processing in your head. So it's not that you don't, it's not about having IQ numbers. It's not about, being smart. It's about the speed at which you can absorb information. So, and that is the highest experience that you can have. And the words I am is the signal to the universe. It's an actual signal to the universe that tells your subconscious to complete whatever is attached to the words I am. So when you say I'm a great salesman, or you can say I'm a great talk show host, or whatever the case may be, the I ams instruct the subconscious to create that reality around you. So
it's interesting because I'm remembering, and I've said this on the radio show a number of times, at least I think I have. My father was a salesman, and he sold cemetery plots, and he loved what he did. I mean, he fell into it, but he loved it because he was helping people and was very successful at it.
For me, that's an oy vey.
Yeah, it's exact. And he sold Jewish cemetery plots, so
I know
you knew that. But I came home from school one day and I asked him, couldn't you sell houses or bigger plots of land or whatever? And he said, no, I don't want to. He said, I'm helping people now prevent all kinds of problems for themselves later.
Yeah.
And he said, the grieving process, Mark, is horrible, and I'm helping alleviate it because they don't have to worry about anything. I want to do this.
Yeah, so he does a lot of what I do, which is we take people in transition and we create a better future for them.
That's, we don't have a lot of time together. It's been a couple of years since you've been on the show. We have to do this more often. I've decided. You have no choice about it.
I am under your control, under your spell.
I wanted to talk about, at this point, we're seeing a lot of people potentially losing homes, being kicked out of apartments because of rent. They're behind on credit cards. They can't work. Support your local restaurants if you can, folks. In the pickup part. So I want to know about karma.
About what?
Karma.
Karma. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I see people who are extraordinarily successful, and at least outwardly they seem to be good people, but there's something about them that just doesn't ring true. We've heard stories about Steve Jobs. I mean, here's a brilliant man. He gave, lots of money to charity, but having as much money as he did, he still couldn't beat a health issue. Is that karma sneaking up and biting him in the proverbial butt?
Well, karma is interesting. Karma just is. It's a word that means two things. One, it means action, and the other thing that it means is cause and effect. So karma is another word for cause and effect. As you reap, so shall you sow. What goes around comes around. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. All the same words for all the same meaning as karma. But karma is action. It means what you do. And there are always consequences to everything you do and everything you think, because this is a stimulus and response level of being while we're on this planet as third dimensional beings. Many of us have transcended third dimensional to go into the metaphysics. But while we are in the third dimension, karma is the law of the land. That's the primary law of what happens. So yes, karma has a lot to do with what we experience. In other words, what our actions are create consequences for what we have. When the interesting thing is that when you go into the fifth dimension, fourth is basically a training ground, or sort of a stop, a neutralization place, and it's the essence of time. It is the neutralization for the level of going into the celestial fields, into the upper chakras, and creating something else. But in the third dimension and below, everything is ruled by karma. Everything is ruled by cause and effect. If you do this, you will get this consequence. If you say these things, this is what will happen. If you eat this food, this is how you will experience life, so on and so forth. If you think these thoughts, this is what you will experience. And karma is, it's immovable. It's a law of the universe. It is not something that you can control by thought, or you can control by coercion, or by cajoling it, or whatever the case may be, or seducing it. You can't do that. Karma is a law built into the vibrancy of the universe. But the thing about
I also, as you said, I am, and I see those as intentions. There's
yes, they are intentions, but they're more than intentions. They're declarations. That's the claiming of who you are.
Okay.
The claiming. It's a declaration of, I am this. I am here right now in this beingness of this thing, whenever you attach the words I am. So, and the more you are able to, give that I am emotion, even though you don't have to give it emotion to claim that experience, the greater portion of that creates your reality. So it's an instruction to the universe to complete whatever those words are. Words cast spells, just as Bruce Lee said. That's why we spell things. It's a spelling. So we are creating spells. And those spells are the governance of energy. So the energy of whatever it is that we use to create our realities. And that's the beauty of it.
And I see a relationship that was triggered when you said I am, and then I mentioned karma. Is there a relationship between the two? Because you're creating your reality?
Sure. So whatever you I am creates the reality of that. So that's a cause and effect. So the I am is always a cause, and the effect is whatever that reality happens to be. So I am happy creates a state of happiness. It creates that state. It isn't that there are conditions that make you happy. It's the statement of I am happy that creates happiness, which creates the conditions of happiness. So most people have it reversed. They think, if they're in a good environment, if they're around beauty, if they have, wealth and abundance and good friends, that those conditions are creating their happiness. That has nothing to do with the happiness. The happiness has to do with your internal statement of your, beingness. And that is the condition that creates the condition that surrounds you. We're not separate from our environment. Our environment doesn't impact us. The mistake that all humans make until they're able to transcend, third dimension is that they think that that they are in relation to the world, that the world is a big thing and you're a small thing. But actually the opposite is true. The world is in relation to what you think and do. It's not you in relation to it. And that is the essence of the truth of transcendence. So when you make that realization,
I'm sorry. A baby, they are the center of the universe.
Completely, and they are closer to source than we are as we grow. Yes, we learn to take ourselves out of that space because we have a desire to experience things or to help things or to just have fun around different things, good, bad, or ugly. Doesn't make any difference what people's idea of fun is. Some people's have fun hurting other people, but some people have enormous amounts of fun helping other people. But whatever that idea is, as you are, becomes you. So we get in this world what we are, not what we want. So all what we are is determined by what we tell ourselves we are. And the belief in that system, and then the I am to control the energy of that experience. The world is in relation to us. We are not in relation to the world. So most people have that backward. And once we really convince ourselves and understand that the world is in relation to us, we now become extraordinarily powerful.
I'm going to tell my wife, of course, that I am the center of the universe, and
You are. I saw it.
right. Yeah. Okay.
I saw that.
We'll see if that works.
It's obvious. It's obvious. I'll back you up.
Okay, good. I may have her call you. Our guest is Harrison Klein. We're talking about all kinds of interesting things.
See this guy behind me?
I'm sorry?
See this guy behind me?
Right.
Yeah, so he's one of the guys that proved that in terms of reality. So he proved that in a mathematical equation.
Is life just numbers, zeros and ones?
It can be, it depends on, again, what you tell yourself. But, it's the strongest part of your experience, your reality experience, is what you tell yourself. And that creates a reality for you. And there is the language of the universe. There's two languages of the universe. One is vibration and the music of vibration. The other one is the mathematics, and music and mathematics are closely related. So mathematics are codes that we use to move energy. So they are formulas of different sorts. So he just was smart enough to uncover the codes in the mathematical code for what true energy is, which later, again, as many governments do, usurp what discoveries are wonderful and they try to weaponize them. So that's unfortunate, but that picture, if you know anything about it, was taken by a very famous photographer. I forgot what his name was, but he was one of the great photographers of all time. And when Einstein sat down in front of him, he said, what do you think about the fact that they took your formula and made it into the atom bomb? And at the moment Einstein went inward to think about that, he snapped that portrait. And if you look deeply into the eyes, you'll see the contemplation and the sadness that Einstein had on that particular moment. It's a remarkable photograph. That's why
it is. I've seen it. I think we all have.
Yeah. We don't all know the story behind it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just learned that. I know, I'm here in Southern California. I believe he taught at Caltech for a while in Southern California, in Pasadena area. And I know he was well known for riding his bicycle in New Jersey on a campus there.
Yeah, he actually, in a race, he beat the little old lady from Pasadena.
I want to just talk personally in our remaining couple of minutes. First of all, I'm going to invite you back. I was flippant before, but I'd love to have you back. And there's so much more. You have a new program coming out. We're going to talk about that before we leave. But I just need you to know, you look great. I saw you a couple of years ago in San Diego, and you look healthy and vibrant and strong. And you told me that you lost a lot of weight. Fabulous.
Yeah, thank you. I've released about 80 pounds since that time. Oh, no. And I feel great. I'm full of energy. I was full of energy then, but I wasn't full of the same kind of energy then. I still had the resistance of the weight for protection or whatever it was that I was doing emotionally. I was eating emotionally. Not because my life was bad, my life was good, but because I was used to that and conditioned to the scarcity of not having high emotions continuously. But then when I decided it didn't matter, it became, much easier. I didn't diet of any sort. I didn't try to, discipline myself into a healthy diet. But I also have Marbeth, who is my significant other, for those of you that don't know, and she's very nutritionally oriented, very, she loves me, and she feeds me in a very healthy way. So she controls, the consumption of my diet and keeps the portions, at the right state for my size and weight. And she also gives me nutrition and feeds me in the most healthy ways. So in that,
and Marbeth was a guest of ours just a couple of weeks ago, and you can still see her at latenighthealth.com. It was one of the happiest times I've had in radio spanning several decades. Well,
She's great. Yeah, she's great. And you know, she's a happy individual, which is what I am too. I've been a transcendent individual for 40 years, over 40 years, 43 actually. And she and I have so many parallels and so many wonderful things which attracted us to each other. I mean, it's phenomenal, the synchronicities that we've experienced in parallel wise. Her life is so parallel to mine in school and college, in relationships, in interests, in dynamics, in joy, in all the great things that make life wonderful, So we have such a significant and amazing relationship. I couldn't dream of a better relationship. I couldn't conceive of a better relationship in my wildest imagination. So we're great, and we love each other, and that makes you vital, and that makes you energetic.
And love makes the world go round.
Much better than money. Not more than money, but better than money.
Got it. We only have a couple minutes left, and you have a new program coming out for women. Can you tell us about that for a few moments?
So I have a program coming out. Now, here's an unusual name. It's called Renovatio. Renovatio is a Latin word which means rebirth or awakening. So it's an awakening program. It is a roadmap for people in transition to move into higher spaces of consciousness, wealth, and whatever their desires are in all 7 areas of their lives. But it's specifically in this case for successful women in transition, whether they're going through a divorce, whether they have difficulty in their jobs, in their health, in their emotional states, in their life processes of, just whether it be careers or whatever the cases may be that people happen to get into, wherever they feel stuck, they're in some sort of a transition. So whenever we come into a place of downward experience emotionally, we have trapped the emotional laws of success within our experience. So we talk about emotional intelligence, but there are emotional laws that are stronger than the emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one form, but if we know the laws they're based on, then we can apply them in the most significant, easy ways, because all we have to do is be in the space of simple application. So it's like when I have a friend named John DeMartini who was in The Secret, really brilliant guy. And what he taught me in the very early part of my relationship was, he said, and I give this to all your listeners and all your people who watch, he said, and this is what broke him into transcendence. It also is part of the thing that broke me into transcendence. And he says, I am a genius, and every day I apply it. And he says, you do that until your body tingles with it. And when your body starts to tingle with it, you become extraordinarily powerful. And you are treated like a genius. You experience things like a genius. You live like a genius. And all the things that a genius would have come to you. So it's an amazing thing. So the Renovatio program is about coming into this space of rebirth, reawakening to, we only change in 3 ways. The human condition is only malleable in 3 ways. One is we change by having a new self-image. We change by belief systems, by changing our beliefs, or we change by shock. We're shocked into change in one form or another. So shock is the hardest way to do it, because that takes you to threshold. You're in a place where a threshold, and oftentimes it's very painful. Understanding the laws of the universe, the belief system, is a lot easier, and understanding how to create new self-images is even a lot easier than that. So as we create a new self-image, we experience things differently. As we change our beliefs, we experience things differently. So Renovatio is about incorporating all those things to change to whatever reality creation experience you may want to have.
Well, it sounds like something I would like, and I know that you told me as soon as the women's program is done, you'll convert it into one for men as well.
Yes, that's right. So the principles are the same, but my programs are all customized for individuals. So, we take the things that we understand as laws, and we apply them immutably and incontrovertibly to individuals.
and as I said, we're running out of time.
I won't talk
What
your
is
ear
your
off.
website? I'm sorry, say that again.
I won't talk your ear off.
No. You're fascinating. I just all right. I got to ask. The other day, Harrison sent out an email or a messenger, and he said, Where is this picture taken from?" Right,
Yes.
right. How many
Yeah.
people got it?
Nobody except you. You're the only one. So far, of all the people who have commented on it and the people that I know, nobody got it except you. And you did a very interesting perceptual thing. I don't know if you blew the picture up or not, but
Nope.
but you saw on one of the ships, this was a shoreline picture for a city, and you saw on one of the ships the title of that ship, right? And it's still on my website, so I'm not going to tell you what that title is, but it's still on my Facebook page. But you were the only one who caught that, and that's really interesting to me, because I know so many people who are geniuses and so many people who are amazingly perceptive, and none of them saw that, but you saw it. So you must have the edge, coaches.
I just wrote it down. I am a genius.
Yes, I'm a genius, and every day you apply it, and every day I apply it. Yeah.
What is the website or Facebook place that you want people to visit you at?
My website, or my main website, my two main websites are I am Harrison Klein, IAM, HARRISONKLEIN, I am HarrisonKlein.com, or I am HarrisonKleinInternational.com. So those are my two branding websites, but they compile a lot of the programs that I have put together, both auditorially, visually.
And there's a lot of information on there that people can look around as they learn about you, more about you.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you if you guys out there like the idea of the strength of the I am, I think the power of what I have done takes it across quantum levels, and that's how I make it different from what everybody else does out there. We work in the process of karma. We work in the process of destroying the illusion of time. We work in the understanding of the subatomic realm, which is the behavior of spirit. We call it quantum physics, and we work in the area of purpose, and we work in the area of application. So, and the architecture of the soul, which is my favorite thing to talk about.
I love it. Architecture of the soul. We'll do that next time. Will you come back? Will you do this again?
Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure. I enjoy talking to you. So you have a great demeanor, and we have a great ability to flow to your conversation. So you must be rich.
Well, I'm rich in some ways. Maybe
you
can help me with that.
You know what the process is? If you want to get richer, you I am yourself into that self-talk of already being there. So in the present. So I can't tell you how many people that has helped to create new abundance for. So
I am looking forward to that. Listen, we have Harrison's address, website address up throughout this entire time. This is a fascinating man. And I hope you've enjoyed the conversation as much as I have.
I sure have with you.
And we've talked about everything from cemeteries to Superman. Well, maybe we did the Superman before, because that's behind Harrison. We have to go now, but we will be back very soon. Join us at latenighthealth.com. This is where you are right now, and we appreciate your likes and all that.
Yay!
Kind of stuff. Yay! We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.